Pete Alonso's in camp, back after signing a shorter deal than what he and his camp may have been looking for. Part of the reason that Mets fans are so engaged and optimistic this spring, I showed you images earlier of Juan Soto's arrival. There are other Mets nuggets that have people in Flushing, Corona, Queens very excited. Tom Verducci with us, leading the league and on location in the Grapefruit. Tom, good morning. Go through some of that. Why are Met fans so excited beyond the obvious? Soto and $765 million. Good morning.
Yeah, that's a good place to start, though. I mean, listen, Juan Soto showed up yesterday, right? And it was not really a circus because he's not really that kind of a player. Yes, he's got the highest contract in professional sports history, but he's a corner outfielder, and really his stock in trade, you know this, Matt, he's just so productive, and it's the industry of Juan Soto, the fact that he posts every day and puts up numbers. And you look at this Mets team, and yeah, absolutely fun team to be around. There's no question about it. Talented team. But you look now at Lindor, Soto, Pete Alonso showed up today. These guys love to play every day. So I don't see it as a circus atmosphere. There's excitement. And as Juan Soto said, I'm just one of the guys here. And it's going to take a team for us, not just me, for us to win, but certainly tremendous amount of excitement. And Juan told me actually yesterday, his first day, he was a little nervous. He didn't know a lot of guys in the clubhouse, at least not well, and he was glad to have yesterday behind him.
So there are the new players like Juan Soto, and then there are the incumbents around whom there is a raised expectation, and one of them is a former National League batting champ that we understand is bringing some new hardware to the circus this year.
Yeah, this is really interesting because as I go around camps, Matt, I like to see what's different. You know, there tends to be this routine to spring training. Right away with Jeff McNeil, I saw what was different. His bat. You remember back in the day, he had one of those old school bats, no knob at the bottom, thick handle, and he gets in the cage and had live BP, and it's a different bat. It's a more traditional one with that knob at the bottom. I asked him about it, and if you recall, in the second half of last season, Jeff slugged over 500. And in the offseason, he said, you know what? I want to continue to do that, to hit for power, not for average. He worked especially on getting his bat speed up. And to do that, he went to the more traditional bat. So I think if you're the Mets, you're looking at Jeff McNeil not as the former batting champion, but as a guy who's going to give you some pop at second base right now.
You know, Tom, Ron Darling here. I'm interested in a couple seasons ago, Ronnie Mauricio really made an impact down the stretch for the Mets. Where's he at health-wise coming off that knee injury?
Well, I'm glad you brought him up because he's an X factor to me, Ronnie. He's healthy, but he's progressing towards that full health. Remember, he missed the whole season last year with that knee injury, so he's not going to be an opening day guy for the Mets. But it's just a matter of getting out there and playing. Now, he did play winter ball and absolutely tore it up in a small sample size. Here's, I believe, what you can expect. Sometime middle of the season, Mauricio is going to force his way into this Mets lineup. You look at his numbers there, he's got really nothing to prove in AAA, except just go there and play and get the reps. But I'm telling you, this guy in the second half of the season, to me, is going to be a difference maker. Where does he fit in? Likely third base, giving Vientos some DH at bats, or at DH. He's a potential 2020 guy in the big leagues with tremendous pop in his bat. He's turning 24 years old. He's ready to play other than just getting the reps behind him. And I think he's the key in terms of deepening this Mets lineup. We all know about the top, but there's going to be a lot of thump towards the back half of this lineup.
Maybe some different names in that Mets lineup this year entering 2025. It looks like same names in the Phillies lineup if we can keep you in the NL East, but maybe in a different sequence. What's with Kyle Schwarber's spot in the order now?
Yeah, I mean, he's been so great in the leadoff spot, Matt, especially with the home runs. The Phillies decided, you know what? Maybe he gets hit some home runs with some guys on base. Since he got to Philly, 85% of his plate appearances have been at a leadoff spot. But the downside to that is 68% of his home runs have come with nobody on base. And last year, the average did go up. He hit well with runners in scoring position. So the idea now, get him more traffic out there on the bases.
You know, Tom, we've seen a little video so far of Shohei Ohtani and how he's been progressing. What do you see and right now as he's trying to get ready to maybe come back in May or June?
First thing, Ron, when I saw him, that looked like a different Ohtani to me. First thing was the windup. We have never seen Shohei pitch out of the windup in Major League Baseball. It's always been that stretch position, going back to his first Major League pitch. 2021, he comes back from the surgery. And then the last start before the second surgery, all from the stretch position. The one difference you see, 2023, he went to the low set with his hands, probably to give away or stop giving away any tells that hitters might pick up. You also see physically a lot stronger, right? I watch this now. You see the step back on the mound, the full windup. This is something we have not seen. Now, whether he takes it into the season, I don't know. But at this point, definitely I like it because it takes some strain off his arm, puts himself in a better rhythm. The other thing I noticed in this bullpen session, his release point had been dropping before the second arm surgery. And you saw in his bullpen the other day, he was back to his natural arm slot, getting on top of the baseball. He should be more high three quarters than low three quarters. And that's where he was. It's one bullpen session, hit 92, 94, all fastballs. But if you're looking just from the viewpoint of arm health, if you're the Dodgers, man, you have to really be encouraged.
You know, the Dodgers are also very encouraged over the tutelage that I guess Mark Pryor is giving Blake Snell. And when I saw that you were prepared to talk on this, I thought, I can't wait to hear this discussion. I mean, you're going to make Blake Snell's changeup better? How is that even possible?
Yeah, first of all, it's a pretty good pitch. It is his fourth pitch, but when you say that, his other stuff is so dominant, right? Fourth pitch is still batting average against him, 238, still a high whiff rate. But Blake has been developing that pitch over the last few years by deadening the ball more. So he's creating more of a gap between his fastball and his changeup. You don't see a lot of pitchers kind of develop the changeup like he has in terms of touch to it. It's not so much movement. It's just taking off some velocity off that changeup. If you look every year for the last 4 years, guys, he's creating a bigger gap between that fastball and the changeup. And you see the whiff rate is lockstep, has gone up with that pitch. So he's a guy who's going to sit 95, 96. Dropping that changeup now at 85. Wow. Two things he's working on, guys. In the strike zone more, which is what the Dodgers always preach, and that's always the key for Blake. And throwing that changeup better. And it looks like early on, signs are really good.
Man, that's a frightening thing to think about if you're another NL West opponent. Blake Snell's changeup getting better, part of a pretty good Dodger team that might win 105 games in the regular season. Tom Verducci joining us from Mets camp in the Grapefruit League. Tom, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Let's talk a little bit about the Dodgers, Ron, and do so in the context of a social media message by Jack Harris. Andrew Friedman said the Dodgers will begin the season with a five-man rotation. With Yamamoto, Sasaki, Snell, and Glass now expected to be part of that group, that'll create a competition between Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin for the number 5 spot in camp. Oh, by the way, there's Clayton Kershaw, there's Shohei Ohtani, there's Landon Knack. We could go on and on.
Bobby Miller.
There's 10 guys there that could be starting. They could parcel out half that rotation, and keep them behind someplace and get every 5 days on the mound. What do you make of this excess of riches?
Well, first, I find this funny. I don't think I've ever felt like this. You said 105. Like, wow. Only 105. I mean, you feel like they could win 120 games. That's how good they are. As far as the rotation, you know this better than I know it. April, you have some off days, and there's an ability to kind of massage a five-man rotation. I remember in the 70s and 80s, you would leave camp with 8 pitchers. You'd have 4 relievers, 4 starters, because April, you could have a 4-man rotation. So they're really massaging a 5-man rotation on 6 days. They're going to have enough rest for all those guys so that when Ohtani comes back. But you have a lot of arms in that rotation, a lot of arms that pitched once a week when they played in Japan, that you're going to have a 6-man rotation at some point. And, of course, Ohtani coming back from injury. But so much talent in every single facet of the game. The things that hit me, Tanner Scott is now pitching for the Dodgers. Kirby Yates is now pitching for the Dodgers. It's amazing.
I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong here, folks in the control room, I think that the over-under on their win total was 102.5. I mean, I'm saying 104, 105, only half kiddingly, because the idea that they're not going to win 2 out of every 3 games is hard to stomach. It's hard to fathom.
Right.
And then maybe going over that. It's up to 103.5.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it might be north of that at some point, which is crazy.
Man alive.
Yeah.
And you know the seriousness of spring training in Cubs camp. A little glove pickleball.
It's official. Pickleball is everywhere. I mean, much to my chagrin. But the flip game has always been in baseball, and that's fun.
Yeah. So earlier we had the sound that Mike Trout is playing right field, and it reminded us of the time that Keith Costas had that amazing sit-down with Mike Trout and Clayton Kershaw.
Really?
Hey guys, I'm trying to get in good shape for the season just like you, working all off season towards opening day. Big burger guy though. If I go no cheese, no bun, that gonna do the trick? Any other tips?
If I ate 6 burgers, I'd probably gain 15 pounds and have to go run around the stadium 100 times.
What, are you mocking me? How am I supposed to deal with this? What am I supposed to think? Alright, let's go in a different direction here. I understand you two are opening up a boutique coffee shop. What's the best part about making coffee?
I think the grind, probably.
Listen, I hear you. Big coffee guy here too, but 2, 3, sometimes 4 cups a day, that'll mess with the digestive tract.
Yeah, that's why I call timeout a lot. Yeah, I got to get out and clear my mind.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I gotta go.
Keith nailing it as per usual.
He's so good.
With 2 future Hall of Famers. There we go.
It's nice to see them both sitting in a room together, isn't it? Hey, thanks. That was a great show. I
Ronnie,
appreciate it.
good time, fun time. And you're back tomorrow with Roflo.
Yep.
Enjoy your President's Day.
大谷翔平とドジャース、2025年に向けた新たな挑戦。歴史的な5-0クラブの達成。史上初の3度目の満票 MVP。そしてワールドシリーズ制覇。大谷翔平の2024年は、まさに夢のようなシーズンだった。しかし、彼とドジャースの旅はまだ終わっていない。むしろ、ここからが本当の戦いの始まりだ。スプリングトレーニングでは、大谷がバッティング練習を再開し、復帰に向けて順調な歩みを見せている。肩の違和感はまだあるものの、ほぼ思い描いた状態に近づいている。と語る彼の表情には、自信と決意が感じられた。ドジャースの一員として、また新たなシーズンに挑む大谷の姿を見るのが今から楽しみでならない。さらに、今シーズンからは佐々木朗まれという新たな才能が加わった。彼の初ブルペンには多くのメディアが集まり、その注目度の高さを証明した。初日は、思うように投げられなかった。としながらも、分厚い才能とメジャーへの適応力の高さを見せつけた佐々木。ドジャースのピッチングコーチ陣、そして大谷、山本といった日本人エースたちのサポートを受けながら、彼がどのように成長していくのか、期待が高まるばかりだ。そしてブレイク、スネルも新たにドジャースに加わり、ワールドシリーズ連覇を狙うチームにさらなる厚みをもたらす。私は殿堂入りを狙っている。と語るスネルの野心と、クレイトン、カーショウのそばで学びたいという姿勢は、まさに本気度マックス。彼がドジャースのユニフォームを着てマウンドに立つ日が待ち遠しい。もちろん、昨年のワールドシリーズでチームを支えた貴家、ヘルナンデスやブレイク、と来年も再びチームに合流し、2025年のドジャースはさらに盤石な体制に、彼らの経験と勝者のメンタリティが、チーム全体の士気をさらに高めてくれることは間違いない。去年の歓喜を、今年も、大谷翔平が語ったように、昨シーズンの成功はすでに過去のもの、次のシーズンに向けて準備をすることが大切だ。と、彼とドジャースの戦いは、まだまだ続く。2025年も、このチームがどんな奇跡を生み出すのか、目が離せない。そしてあなたも、この歴史的瞬間を一緒に目撃しませんか。ドジャースのシーズンを追いかけ、大谷翔平や佐々木朗まで、スネル、そして全選手たちの活躍を見届けよう。このチャンネルをフォローして、最新情報をお見逃しなく。あなたのコメントも大歓迎。大谷翔平やドジャースに期待すること、見たい試合、そして応援メッセージをぜひコメント欄に残してください。2025年シーズン、さあ行こう。